Hey, beautiful beings. I hope you are doing well. So, today I wanted to talk about the paradigm of ADHD being a disorder or a doorway to something that's much more powerful. And one of the questions that comes up for people is ADHD, is it something that I have to suffer with forever? Do I have to keep on managing these symptoms? Or is it a gift or a superpower? And I've seen several posts recently from people online, and I've been a little bit disturbed by them. So they're really struggling with ADHD at the moment, and they feel like they've been given this life sentence to a hellish prison. And I used to live that, so I can completely relate to where they are. And they've been told that they are broken, that it's a genetic problem, it's a wiring problem, and there's nothing they can do other than maybe take drugs. And it's understandable that they're in this maze of hell because all the mainstream solutions are really just treating symptoms. And there is a crazy amount of productivity hacks and dopamine chasing systems, which will cause more issues longer term. That's another video. But they're all ignoring the root of the issue. And I'm not judging anyone for that. There's a very good reason for that. And that's another video as well, why the wellness industry is worth, I can't remember how many billions, but a lot, but nothing's really getting to the root of the issue. But so these people are making posts and they're being really vulnerable and open. They're desperate. They're sharing things that they're not even sharing with their family. And then we've got other people making comments who are at the other end of the spectrum. And they're saying, oh, why are you suffering? ADHD is a gift, it's a superpower. Now, understandably, for those who are drowning, that narrative sends them into spirals of shame and self-hatred. And if someone had said to me 30 years ago, like all the anxiety and the depression and the self-loathing and not feeling good enough and the exhaustion, if they'd have said, oh, it's a gift, it's a superpower, I would have been very confused. I would love to think that I would have been curious and said, what? Why? How? What do I have to do? If you want my left kidney, you can have it. Um, but I definitely would have gone into a shame spiral and felt not good enough again. And so I just want to pause here and open up with a question, if I may. So, what if the very symptoms and the things that you're trying to fix and manage are actually keys to your inner peace and happiness? So, what if you weren't actually broken? And there's some more questions. Hold on. Because I keep on seeing people saying, oh, the world's not made for people like us. We don't fit in. And what if the world was made for you exactly as you are? Like you're supposed to be here exactly as you are. There's purpose in it. You might not understand it at the moment, but there's purpose in it. And what if this ADHD insane noise is just your higher self calling you back into alignment? And what if you didn't have to accept this prison sentence and that you could actually be happy and peaceful? And so for me, the prison sentence and the journey to sovereignty, I found out I had ADHD from Instagram Reels. I don't know what I'd been doing with my algorithm, but they just kept on coming up. Every other one was an ADHD reel. And every time I read it, I felt like I'd been shot. And it was like, oh my God. Um, and you know, you can report a post if it's something abusive or something dangerous. And when you report it, it has the reasons why. And it's like, I'm in this post, it's about me, and I don't like it. And I just wanted to do that to all of them. But I'm really grateful. Everything happens for a reason, right? Everything's happening for us, not to us. When we have the right mindset and clear, or start clearing the pain of the past. And I mean, I had a sneaking suspicion. No, I knew I had ADHD, but I just kept on suppressing it. And I was too busy trying to help other people with their suffering. But then one day a friend invited me around for dinner, and she's an expert in this field. And we were eating some delicious homemade fig ice cream. It was gorgeous. With coconut, yummy. Anyway, she said, you do realize you've got ADHD, don't you? And again, I felt like I'd been shot, and I had such a strong reaction to it. And I received it as though I'm helpless and that there's nothing I can do about it. And it did feel like this prison sentence. And it kind of took my breath away. But then I felt something spark in me, and I remembered that all suffering, we can use the energy of that suffering as keys, as a way to guide us back to these portals, and use it as a way to find health, wealth, and happiness again. And yeah, I really hate labels. I hate them so much. I got mad and I thought, I'll show you with your ADHD labels. I'm not being defined by a modern label. And I went home and I got really busy and really still, because it was quite overwhelming. I knew from my studies that these ADHD is quite a new phenomena if we look at how long healing practices have been around. And these imbalances were called different things thousands of years ago, and people have been using this ancient wisdom to bring us back into balance. But I'd been studying for so long, I had so many tools coming out my ears, I just didn't know where to start. And then use your intuition, Ram-Inder. And I started doing this amazing meditation. If you want a video of it, put happy in the comments below and I'll send it to you. It's incredible. It's been researched by Harvard, UCLA, and the Alzheimer's Prevention and Research Foundation. It has such powerful healing properties for reversing memory loss and obviously Alzheimer's. But for me, one of my favorite things is that it really helps with addictions and mental loops that are mental and not serving us at all, and with confidence, and just reminding us of the truth of our being. So clearing away all that static that prevents us from knowing Sat Chit Anand, the truth of reality is bliss. And so, yeah, before I started this meditation, I'd done it before years ago. I'd been sitting at my desk for weeks, months actually, and working really hard and working really long hours. And I'd get to the end of the week and I just think, how is it possible that I've done so little? I just couldn't focus. I couldn't do the things that I needed to do. And so that meditation helped immensely. But then there's also some, I won't go into the how today, but there's some other energy systems that relate to that lack of brain fog and focus. And so within a few weeks, I'd made an incredible shift. And it was, yeah, I could just sit down at my desk like a normal person and do the things that I wanted to do. It was a miracle. Well, not really a miracle, just science. And I was doing what I needed to do to bring myself back into balance. And there was that the pillow test in the evening, where you're lying down, you're like, did I do all the things that I wanted to do today? Yeah. Then came perimenopause. We'll save that for another video, another day, but that's another, is it a curse or a gift? We get to decide. So today I'm here just to remind you that ADHD can be a doorway, not a disorder. And to remind you that you're not broken, that your brilliance is just temporarily veiled by some static. And there's some part of you that knows that you didn't come here to suffer and to be miserable and to learn one productivity hack and time-saving thing after another and all these coping strategies. We came here to remember that our natural state of being is unconditional joy. And if you're at the opposite end of the scale and you're thinking, what? That's okay for her to say. There's so many things that you can do for yourself. A lot of the meditations that we have, you can't do them for more than 3 minutes because they're really, really potent and strong. And it's just knowing like which system is out of balance and how do you bring it back into balance. And it's just like some part of you knows you can make the impossible possible. And these ADHD patterns, symptoms, are just your higher self's alarm system calling you back, saying, hey, you're out of alignment. We need to rebalance. We need to readdress this, or we need to let go of something. And so, yes, we don't need to white knuckle it through the green smoothies and taking all the supplements, otherwise we can't function, and the productivity hacks. It's reminding us that we're not a victim of a lifelong disorder. But we have the capacity, if we show up for ourselves and if we decide, to be a master who can return to this state of wholeness and harmony. And there's so many experts in the ADHD field, and I just want to honor them. But just to listen, if you've been given this life sentence and it feels like you're handed this really heavy backpack and it's cutting into your shoulders and it's making your neck ache and it's making you exhausted and your back aches, we can learn to like walk with it, and many of us are. And you know, it's hard when other people are doing things and they can just do them and it's really easy for them, and for us it would take us hours or it would take us weeks. But at any point we can say, I don't want to carry this rucksack anymore. And so it's about, if an expert tells us you were born with a broken system, we can believe them. And there's a part of us, part of our ego is not bad, but there's the illusion of safety in that, because the ego loves the known and it loves the familiar. And even if the other side of that is a life that we love, and letting go of anxiety and depression and pain and never feeling good enough, the ego will still choose the familiar rather than the unknown. So we can listen to that we've got a broken system, and that can be our identity. Or we can listen to the part of our soul that knows we were born for something greater. We were born for bliss. We were born for happiness and abundance and ecstasy and all those beautiful things. So thank you for being here. I feel like I hadn't planned to leave you with something. I'm going to leave you with a breath that I used to use when my mind used to go on insane anxiety loops. And it's called Satali Pranayam. If you have inflammation, even if you've been busy, that creates toxic heat. So this is a really, really lovely one to do. If you have perimenopause and are screaming at your loved ones, or PMT, this is really sweet for just cooling everything down. And you know, this Sat Chit Anand, the truth of reality is bliss. One of my teachers used to say, Ram-Inder, stop trying to solve all your problems, just drop them. And I'd look at him and smile and say, yes, of course. But inside, I'd be screaming, don't you think I would if I could? But it's just these, it's just the mind. It's just these temporary thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And it feels really real and it can feel really rigid. But the more that you start doing these practices, you can just start with 3 minutes, then your nervous system will start telling you, oh, it's safe. And then your ego doesn't have to be hyper vigilant and on alert and scanning for danger when you're just eating ice cream with your friend and there's nothing to be scared of. So your hands, we're going to put them in Gya Mudra, index fingertip touching the thumb tip. Now, I want to make this as easy for you as possible. We're just going to do 3 minutes today. If you don't have a timer, you can just do 26 breaths. So one inhale and exhale counts as one. You can just do 26, and that is plenty. So you can have these resting in your lap if you're sat on a chair. Make sure your spine is straight. Put cushions behind, and if you're sat on a yoga mat, beautiful. Sit on some cushions or blocks if you're hunched over. So your eyes are going to be closed, focused up and in at your third eye, your brow point. And then you're going to stick your tongue out to the experts that told you you were broken. It's a little ADHD rebel there towards authority. So stick your tongue out, curl the sides together, and you're going to inhale through the tongue into the belly, making the belly expand, and then close the mouth, bring the tongue in, and exhale, and the belly comes back towards the spine. If you can't curl your tongue, that's totally fine. Still stick your tongue out just past your lips, and you're going to inhale and just notice that coolness coming over the tongue, and then close the mouth and exhale through the nose. Off you go. So keeping that breath going, just making sure on the inhale, the belly is expanding. So you're using your full lung capacity. And if you just take one thing away from today, it's inhaling, belly expands rather than the chest coming up. And just being aware of the subtle changes that you're creating. This stillness that's emerging. Well, actually, the stillness is always there. It's just the mind that appears to take us away from it. But it's like the blue sky. It's always there. And the mind is just like the clouds. Sometimes they obscure that luminosity of the sunshine, your soul. Your soul's always there. Noticing on the exhale how there's almost like a sigh out. You know, when you're stressed, you go, oh, just emptying out all that busyness, all that uncertainty. Inhaling that luminosity and stillness. And exhale, relaxing and just resting. And inhale deeply. Hold the breath, relaxing the jaw, neck, shoulders, and the hips. And exhale, relaxing the breath. Let the breath return to normal. Take some long, slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply. And exhale and relax. Open and close your fingers. Make circles with your hands and your feet. So, Satnam, beautiful beings, I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Well done for showing up with yourselves, and sending you lots of love and blessings and deep, deep inner peace. Satnam.